we're talking pickleball, Dave. Fun sport, right?
You love the game?
I love it. It's fast, it's fun, but I'm very careful not to go after every ball. I got that advice early on.
Oh,
Like,
don't hardcore,
don't
man.
lunge, for every. I'm a little older than you are.
Well, my wife has a big problem with it because we'll be playing with another couple. It's her and I, and she's like, "We're just trying to have fun out here."
Right.
I don't have that speed.
You're that guy.
I have full speed, and that's the only speed.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
I'm not playing against you.
The sport continues to just blow up, though, across the country, getting more and more popular. Unfortunately, so too are the injuries from playing pickleball. It's estimated that 20 million people are playing, and those numbers continuing to rise, as are paddle and padel and basically any racket sport at this moment. People are primarily injuring ankles and knees. The sport has been a boon to the physical therapy industry, but eye injuries are also on the rise, Jim. A new study published in the journal JAMA says emergency room visits and researchers found the number of eye injuries soaring over the past several years.
Let's look into this. Dr. Jonathan Tsui is that study's senior author, a clinical assistant professor at Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School. Doctor, thank you for joining us. So we know about the orthopedic injuries. We've seen a lot of stories about that. Maybe we have friends who've endured them and they're recovering. But what about eye injuries? What's going on with that?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for allowing me a chance to share a little bit about what some of the research that's going on at Rutgers. Research is a great way for us to be able to impact society as a whole, in addition to seeing patients one at a time. And so for this study, we wanted to see what the eye injury impact was from pickleball increasing in popularity. And to do that, we looked at a database, which is called the National Electronic Injury Surveillance System. And the National Electronic Injury Surveillance System is an database that is run by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Basically, it takes 100 emergency rooms and it aggregates all the types of injuries that are occurring at those 100 emergency rooms and allows you to extrapolate the data for the whole country. And now, anytime you're making an estimate from a smaller data set, there's lots of limitations, but it gives us an idea of the trends that are happening. And we saw a huge uptick in the number of eye-related injuries in the past 3 years. 88% of the last injuries of the last 20 years have been in just the last 3 years.
Doc, what's happening? Are people just getting hit in the eye with the pickleball, and what are the kinds of injuries?
Or is it the racket?
Yeah, it's both, and it's the ball and it's falling. So the types of injuries that we were seeing varied by age type, especially among our older players, those age 50 and above. We were seeing a lot more fall-related injuries, which we weren't really expecting. It's easy to think about the ball hitting your eye or a paddle hitting your eye because those are moving, but you yourself, as you fall, may also injure yourself, as the ball may hit you as you're going for it, or you might hit yourself on the ground. So there's lots of different types of injuries, and they range from injuries that are superficial, ones that'll heal themselves, and also ones that are very serious, ones that don't heal themselves, like retinal detachments and posterior vitreous detachments, which can lead to retinal tears. And as a vitreoretinal surgeon, those are the types of injuries that I'm most in tune with, because these are imminently and permanently blinding potentially. So some of these things are very, very serious.
So what should we do? Should we wear goggles or should we not play the sport?
Definitely exercise is good for overall health, and that's good for the eyes. But we do recommend that players of all ages and all levels wear eye protection. And we definitely would like to ask our local organizations, as well as national organizations such as USA Pickleball, to raise awareness for these types of ways that we can prevent injuries so that we can keep players on the court for a long time.
I'm just looking at one study that estimates nearly 78,000 injuries nationally. It's an estimate, but the most common injuries, as you might expect, fractures and sprains, wrist injuries.
Ankles and knees have been the primary victims.
And the majority in players 50 and older. So, doctor, what should people be doing if they're planning to, take up this sport, or they're already playing, like Dave, who's a maniac out there, to try to prevent any and all of these injuries or these ER visits?
Yeah, definitely familiarity with the rules even before you get on a court is important, because when you're in the environment and your adrenaline's rushing, you may be more prone to doing sudden movements that you may not be used to. As you get older, strength training, balance training, and training your reflexes is something to be very aware of, just so that you know your limitations. And of course, eye protection, eye protection, eye protection. So we just want to make sure that
Yeah.
you see the ball at all times, where your
I don't mean to
opponents
laugh.
and your partners are.
There is no way I'm wearing
You're wearing eye protection.
I'm picturing that dude in dodgeball, with those plastic goggles. You know that guy?
Yes.
Doc, do you play?
I don't consider myself an expert by any means or an avid player, but yes, I do
All right.
play in spots there.
That's okay.
I was going to ask him if he'd ever wear goggles. All right, Dr. Tsui from Rutgers, really appreciate you being with us, sir. Would you wear goggles? Not a chance. Or do you play in the glasses?
I probably sunglasses, depending on what the
Well,
weather's
that
doing.
works.
And those aren't for, vision issues, but no, I wouldn't wear goggles.
But you bring up a point. Sunglasses, then you don't look like a tool.
And your eye is somewhat
And
protected.
your eyes are protected.
Depending on what the lenses are made of.